beautiful people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Gianna Lian, and today we're back with yet again another tier ranking list. This time I'm gonna be tier ranking every single romance book that I have read. Honestly, I was surprised with how many books were classified as romance. I honestly came up with this list by looking at the genres set in Goodreads. Some of these have like subplots of romance, but I didn't think the main genre was romance, but I was proved wrong. I did make a tier ranking list. This is the website that I use for tier rankings. Mine will be linked down below if you guys want to do this as well. And we're just gonna go through and tier rank these, I guess. I did make this video of Booktok books that I've read. If you guys have already watched that, some of these books are on there as well. My ratings have changed for quite a few of them when I rewatched that. So that video will also be linked down below if you guys want to see that. Here we have our tier ranking list. I have 5 tiers. So the first tier, the highest one, is Would Sell My Soul to Read This for the First Time Again. These are the books that I absolutely love and literally would sell my soul to read again. Experience all those feelings for the first time again, everything like that. That's like the top god tier. Then we have Loved You But You Weren't Perfect. These are like my 4-star reads. Like I loved them, but they weren't worthy enough of a 5-star, or they were a 5-star, but I wouldn't sell my soul to read them again. Then we have It Was Enjoyable, I Would Recommend. This one is more like 3 stars. It's okay. I would still recommend it. I still really enjoyed it, but it didn't deserve anything higher than that. Then we have Read It, but Forgettable. These are just like, okay. Moving on, I read it, whatever, take it off my physical TBR. And then the last tier, we have No, Just Not Gonna Talk About It. These are all my 1 stars or DNFs. So these are just like the books that you will never, ever see or hear me say any good things about these books or talk about them at all. That's a tier no books want to be in. These are our tiers. We have over 30 books to rank, so I'm super excited to get into this. Let's just start with the first one. We have an interesting one. We have Magnolia Parks. I talked about this book a lot on my channel. Do I want to be mean on the first one? Yeah, no, we're just not going to talk about it. That's the tier it's going to go into. I will never reread this book. I think this book is so overhyped. That's just my opinion. I can see why people love it. Like, I don't know. I just really despise that book. Anyways, moving on to a good one. We have Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. This one, it is one of my new favorites. That's a problem, but I wouldn't sell my soul. So it's going into Loved You But You Weren't Perfect. Even though I did rate this, I'm pretty sure like a 4.5, 4.75. My Heart and Other Black Holes by Jasmine Warga. Definitely, no, I'm just not going to talk about this one. This one was not anything that I was expecting. I was so disappointed in this. With how the book was explained before I bought it and before I read it, the outcome is so different. And I feel like it just got so dragged on. It was nothing that it was advertised as. And that is what made me upset. Oh, Addicted to You by Krista Mekarichi. I would definitely sell my soul to read this for the first time. Are you kidding me? This is my favorite series I've ever read. The first book hooked me, and I never, ever go a day without thinking about this book. I love it. Oh my gosh. I literally go back and look at quotes from this book. I'm not even kidding. Next, The Do-Over. This one it was enjoyable. I would recommend. I feel like I love other books by Lynn Painter more, but this one was still really enjoyable, especially because I did read it during Valentine's Day, so it kind of matched the vibes perfectly, even though it did get pretty repetitive, but that's like kind of the point of the book. I really like that one. Tell Me Lies by Carola Lovering. Definitely would sell my soul to read this for the first time again. I thought I was gonna like Magnolia Parks because Tell Me Lies is such a toxic romance, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love toxic romances, I'm gonna love this. No, Magnolia Parks was completely different. I just love that book, and the cover, gorgeous. There's Something About Mary by Cody Hall. Loved You But You Weren't Perfect. I'm pretty sure I did end up rating this a 5 stars, but it is a Christmas book, and I had so many good feelings when I was reading it. It was such an amazing read, and I really loved it, but I wouldn't want to read it over and over again for the first time. I feel like it's kind of a one-done thing, but it was still so amazing, if that makes sense. But if you need a Christmas book, that is one I definitely recommend. It is a longer one, but it is so worth it. It has like single dad tropes, small town, it's like based on a Christmas farm. It's just so good. Nothing But the Truth. It was enjoyable. I would recommend because I did really enjoy that. I read that when I was in Costa Rica, I'm pretty sure, and it was an interesting plot, super unrealistic, but it was still enjoyable, and I think there were some really good life lessons in that book. I would recommend it to you guys. It's not very known. Next we have The Ex-Hex. Read it, but forgettable. Honestly, I don't really like fall or like Halloween time. It's just kind of a season. It's not anything special to me. I don't know. It was good for the vibes. I did read it on Halloween night. I don't know. It was kind of forgettable. I don't really remember what happened in the book, like the ending. I don't remember any of the characters. Oh, Love in the Time of Serial Killers. No, we're not gonna talk about it. I think I ripped on this book enough, said enough bad things about this book. We're just not gonna go any further. This is like one of my least favorite books of all time. I just couldn't do it. The romance in it wasn't romance. It was just them like walking around each other, and it was just so cringy. It was so boring. Like the characters had no lives. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. Next, we have Scarlet Angel. This is one of the books in the Mindfuck series, but this one is going into Loved You But You Weren't Perfect. This whole series is literally like a 6 out of 5 star series for me, but there has been 2 out of the 5 that I loved even more that I would sell my soul. So that one's gonna go there because that one wasn't my all-time favorite, but overall, I love this series to death as well. I'm really sad that I finished it. Then we have Better Than the Movies. I would definitely sell my soul to read this for the first time again. This is the first Lynn Painter book that I read, and I absolutely fell in love with it. It's just so good. That just has to go there. Then we have The Devil Wears Black. That one's going to Loved You But You Weren't Perfect. This was one of my biggest surprises in 2023 so far. I picked this up thrifting and I didn't know anything about it. I didn't hear anyone read it or anything, and I just read it on a whim one day and I actually ended up loving it. Like the romance, the banter. Like this was the first book that really made me know what reading Enemies to Lovers was like, because this author did it so amazing. So highly recommend that book, but I wouldn't sell my soul to read it again. Then we have Wild Souls. This one I'm gonna put in it was enjoyable. I would recommend. This one is actually a newer author. She actually just released one of her new books, so congratulations to her. She's such a sweet human being. It was really, really good. Like it's a contemporary romance with fantasy elements in it, and if you know me, you know I don't read fantasy, and I really, really enjoyed this. Then we have Sidetracked. Sidetracked, I would sell my soul to read for the first time. This was one of the ones that I absolutely just loved to death. It just felt so amazing. The whole series, I could literally make a whole video just about the Mindfuck series, I'm telling you. Then we have Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry. This one would go, it was enjoyable. I would recommend because I read this last summer and it's just a cutesy little rom-com. It was one of the first rom-coms that I really, really enjoyed and got me into that genre. It was really enjoyable and really, really cute, and it's based more like in high school, and I love reading about that, so I would really recommend that one for you guys, especially if you need to get out of a slump. Okay, The Sweetest Oblivion. We're not going to talk about it. I read this one last year. Holy, this book is nothing of what I expected it to be. I thought it was going to be like a mafia romance. It was gonna be super dark and suspenseful and spicy, and it was so cringy. So extremely cringy. And honestly, the only reason why I picked up that series was because my name was one of the characters. Yeah. I will not be continuing that series, and we will not be talking about that book. Next is Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. Oh my gosh, I would definitely sell my soul to read this for the first time. I love this book. I think about this book all the time, and I actually have to read her newer release that she recently released, but this one was just so amazing. I remember when I read it and then I wanted to reread it right after. It was just so perfect for the summertime. Like, if you need the ultimate summer book, this is the one I recommend. Next we have Verity by Colleen Hoover. I would definitely sell my soul to read that for the first time again. That book, oh my gosh, it's just so crazy to think about because of everything that went down in that book, and the ending especially. Writing an ending like that leaves me hanging, and I hate it, but I love it at the same time because it kind of lets you believe what you want to believe. Psychological thriller, little bit of romance subplot in there. So good. My favorite Colleen Hoover book I've ever read. Regretting You by Colleen Hoover. Read it, but forgettable. This was the first Coho book that I picked up. It was good. It had lots of found family in it. It had like a mother-daughter relationship going on. That was like the premise of it. Lots of family drama, but it wasn't anything special. It kind of got annoying at some points, and there was lots of miscommunication in it. So I don't know. It was okay. I just kind of forget about it. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Definitely would sell my soul to read that for the first time again. That was one of the first books that got me into reading again. So that book I always hold so close to my heart. It's just so good. Highly recommend that. I know it's super hyped up on every single social media platform, but it deserves it. I'm telling you, it just deserves it. It's so much more than just a book, in my opinion. It just tells like a whole life. I don't know, just read it. I'm telling you. This Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. Loved You But You Weren't Perfect. I did rate this a 5 stars, but I wouldn't sell my soul to read it for the first time again. I feel like once is kind of enough, even though I absolutely loved it. This is like the only one that I truly love out of the 3 for the series. It's really immature and it's really YA, kind of just as silly at times, but honestly, I just had such a good time reading it and I flew through it in a day. Then we have It's Not Summer Without You, which is the second one in the series. This one, it was enjoyable. I would recommend. This one I didn't like as much, but I still liked it because I still got to read about the characters and be in the universe and get all those summery vibes, but it wasn't as good as the first. Then we have Twisted Games. This one I would definitely sell my soul to read for the first time again. This one was just so different than Twisted Love for some reason. This one I just felt so much more connected to the couple that was in this book. Like Reese and Bridget, oh my gosh, they are probably one of my favorite book couples other than obviously Lily and Lo. But yeah, this one just took it to the next level for me. I really enjoyed this. The tension, the spiciness, the forbidden love in it. Oh my gosh, you need to pick up this series if you guys haven't already. What are you doing? Then we have We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that one. I hated that book. I think it was like the worst finale of a book ever. I just was bored. And honestly, I don't even remember half the things that went on in that. I just remember finishing it and being like, that was the finale. That's what I was waiting for. I don't know. We're just not gonna talk about that one. I don't like it. Oh, another one. Wow, we have a lot of bad ones in a row, guys. Okay, Beach Read by Emily Henry. We're not gonna talk about this one either because I knew I wasn't gonna like an Emily Henry book. Maybe it was just the one that I picked up, but now I really don't want to give her another chance because I just don't like her writing. I don't like her characters. I don't like... That sounds so bad. I can't say that. No, cut that out. I'm not saying that. Emily Henry is supposed to be known as like the queen of banter, but I didn't see it. Like I've read a lot of other books from other authors that the banter is 10 times better. Maybe it was just the one that I picked up though. Like maybe there's a better one, but yeah, this was just a complete letdown. Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther. I DNF'd this book, guys. That was my second DNF of 2023, I'm pretty sure, and I just couldn't do it. The characters were so immature. The plot I had no interest in, which is funny because it's like a high adventure summer like beachy vibe and I just didn't like it at all. I just couldn't push myself to keep going, so I had to DNF that one and I don't really want to pick up anything else by K.L. Walther. Then we have The Risk. This one's going into Loved You But You Weren't Perfect. This was the first one in the Mindfuck series and I really liked this one, but the second one just took it to a next level for me, so that one I ended up rating a 4.8, but it's still so good. Then we have A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. This one it was enjoyable. I would recommend. I read this a while ago. The romance in it was cute and the mystery elements of it mixed with the subplot of romance was really good. Like it was an even balance to the point where I didn't feel like it was too mystery and no romance or too romancy but no mystery at all. I really enjoy that series. I do want to pick up the second one. I've been meaning to do it for so long, but now that fall is sort of coming, kind of sad if you think about it. Now that fall is sort of coming, I do want to continue the series and hopefully finish it because I've just been hearing so many good things and I'm like, no, don't spoil it, no, don't spoil it, because I want to read it myself. Next we have It's Kind of a Funny Story. This one is Loved You But You Weren't Perfect. I really did love this though. Like it was such a good book. I don't remember what I rated it, but it does deal with like mental health and stuff, but I'm pretty sure it is classified as young adult, which is kind of crazy to think about because it is pretty dark. Check trigger warnings if you do read this, but it was just really good. I think it told an amazing story and it kind of showed you the reality of a lot of things that people go through that they don't really talk about and stuff. I really enjoyed that. Six of Crows. No, we're not going to talk about it. I think I've also ripped on this book enough. I don't think we need to go into extreme detail here because I feel like at this point you guys all know how much I really don't like this book. It just wasn't for me. Let's just leave it at that. Same with Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Glasgow. We're just gonna leave it at that. I think I've mentioned these enough times. Girl in Pieces just wasn't what I expected it to be, and the writing, I just couldn't get into it. And I know a lot of people say that about Kathleen Glasgow's writing, so it doesn't surprise me, but I don't know, that was also just an anticipated 5-star for me and it just fell so flat. Next is One Italian Summer. Read it, but forgettable. I really didn't like this one either, honestly. Wow, I didn't realize how many books I really didn't like. Okay, anyways. I don't know, One Italian Summer, it was okay. I feel like the only reason why I kept reading it and why I didn't DNF it was because the descriptions of Italy and the Amalfi Coast specifically were so amazing, and kind of the events that they did while they were in Italy was amazing, and that's why I kept reading it. But other than that, I just really didn't care for the book and it was honestly forgettable. Mr. Wrong Number. It was enjoyable, I would recommend. This one was a letdown for me from Lian Painter because of how much I love her. I don't know, this one just felt kind of off. This is an adult romance though. The other two that I tiered are young adults, so I don't know, maybe I like to stick to her younger adult romance books, but this one was still good. It was still cute. I still loved the writing because it's Lian Painter's. It just felt a little bit flat for me because I think I was just expecting something a little more from her. Next we have All the Lies. This one's going into Would Sell My Soul to read this for the first time again because this was also one of the ones that had me on the edge of my seat the whole time, and I immediately picked up the next one. Like, I had to. Next, If You Had Been With Me. It was enjoyable. I would recommend. Honestly, the only reason why I rated this book so high is because of the ending. The ending deserves all the hype that it gets, but leading up to that point, no way. Nothing happened. It was so slow, and I know the author did that on purpose, but it was so hard to get through. But then the last like 30 pages, I was gripping onto the book. I was throwing it across the room. I was crying. I was literally bawling my eyes out because of how sad the ending is. I would recommend it, but go into it at your own risk. I would say it definitely didn't destroy me, but it was sad. Then we have Twisted Love by Anna Huang. I definitely would sell my soul to read this for the first time again. This was obviously the first one in the series, so it kind of made me fall in love with everything, and I love Ava and Alex. Alex Volkov is still one of my favorite book boyfriends ever. Don't ask me why. I know he's probably not the best book boyfriend, but in my opinion, he has my heart. So I enjoyed this book so much. It was so much more than just a romance book to me. Like, it had so much more depth into it than I thought when I was going into it. And honestly, it impressed me so much more than I thought it ever could. Next, we have Ricochet. Loved You, But You Weren't Perfect. This is the second one in the series. Honestly, this one, I get it. Like, it made sense with the whole series and kind of how the first book ended, but I don't know. Like, compared to the other ones that I've read, this one, I wouldn't sell my soul to read it again. Next, we have How to Honeymoon Alone. This one I did rate 4.75, so it's definitely going into Loved You But You Weren't Perfect, even though I really enjoyed this. This is also one of those summary reads. It's based in like Barbados, and we have Strangers to Lovers. It was just so good. I read it on Kindle Unlimited. It was a random read. I just picked it up out of nowhere, but I definitely wouldn't sell my soul to read it again. But this one, on the other hand, I would. Addicted for Now by Kristen Beck-Ritchie. Oh my goodness, you guys. This one was so good. I know I didn't rate it a 5 stars, but that's only because I wanted a little bit more Lillian Lowe in it. But we got introduced and got to know the Calloway sisters and all their friends so much more in this, which makes sense. So then we were introduced to them before we read Kiss the Sky, which is the next one in the reading order. This was so good, and especially that mystery element in it. Kristen Beck-Ritchie got me, let's just say that. Next we have Flawless, Loved You But You Weren't Perfect. I rated this very high. It was gonna be a 5 stars except for the one thing at the end. This one was so cute. We have that cowboy aesthetic, which I absolutely love. I didn't know I loved so much, but I'm definitely picking up the second one in this book. It was just so good. Like, I highly recommend this series. I don't know why I didn't read it sooner. The summer vibes in it, it's there. I'm telling you, it's there. Set on You by Amy Lee. It was enjoyable. I would recommend. This one was really good because it was a plotline that I don't normally read. We have like a fitness influencer, and then the other guy's like a steamy firefighter. It was a good dynamic. I really enjoyed it. There just was something off about it that didn't let me love it as much as I wanted to, but I still would highly recommend. Then we have Corrupt. Loved You But You Weren't Perfect. No. I would sell my soul to read that for the first time again. Who am I lying to? That book just was so insane. Like, thinking back to it now, I wish I could read that for the first time so then I could feel everything that I was feeling again for the first time. Because the whole time I was like, what is happening right now? What is happening right now? Oh my gosh, it's getting worse. Oh my gosh, more things are happening. And it just kept going and going. Penelope Douglas did not give us a break. It was also probably the spiciest book I've ever read. It was next level spice in my opinion. It was just so good. I definitely would sell my soul, 100%. And along with that, this one as well, Painted All Red, which is the last one in the Mindfuck series. And this finale was beyond perfect. Like, beyond perfect. I don't think I could complain about one thing in this book. The way that St. Abby had me gripping onto my phone when I was reading this on Kindle Unlimited, on those last few pages, I was like, you're kidding. I almost started crying. And then I was like, oh my gosh, she can't end it that way. But then plot twist happened and I was happy. Let's just say that. But yeah, that book is just top tier. I would probably reread that book over and over again, and I don't normally like to do that, but that one's an exception because I just absolutely freaking loved it. Love. You just have to read the series. Have I said it enough? Jeez. But anyways, those are our tiers that we have going on here. I honestly don't think it's that bad. I mean, I did hate a lot of romance books, but honestly, majority of the books I did put and would sell my soul to read for the first time again. So I don't know, I'm pretty happy with these tiers. It was really fun doing this because it kind of makes me really decide how much I really like the books when I have to actually put them in specific tiers. This was really fun. I really liked this. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this style of video. If you guys want me to tier rank anything else, let me know down below. I really enjoyed this. And I'll obviously have my tier list linked down below if you guys want to use this and do this for your own books or do it with the books that I read. Completely up to you guys. But other than that, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys did, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff you guys know how to do. And let's get this video to 200 likes. Let's do it. That's our goal. And also don't forget to check out the link in my description for my Patreon to join the Patreon family. We have a fun time over there. You guys should definitely check it out. Other than that, I really hope you guys are having an amazing, wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye! No, that's so gross. Never do that again, Gianna. I need to figure out how to screen record this real quick. Was it this one? I think I was just expecting something a little... Hello? Oh, my foot is asleep.